Hi, and welcome back to the New London 30-minute podcast. Today, I'll be talking with Gabe Lemley.
Hey.
Okay, so to start off, tell us a little about your life.
Born and raised in New London. Went to New London school all the way, K through 12. Graduated. Got my associate's degree at SEC. Got my bachelor's degree in exercise science at Iowa Wesleyan. Competed in mixed martial arts and been doing martial arts for 28 years now.
Mm,
And here I am. I'm a lifer in New London.
yeah. So, what made you want to start fighting?
When I was about 14 years old, I started in traditional martial arts. It was Okinawan karate. And at the time, there was no way to test any of those skills out.
Yeah.
Without getting in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So they kind of,
Mm-hmm.
as MMA started to blow up a little bit, I found a gym in the Quad Cities. Went and visited that gym. Realized had gotten in a little bit over my head and needed to go there to further the skills that I
Yeah.
wanted.
Uh, and then, when was your first, debut or fight? Like, how old were you?
Geez, I was 20, I think. It was either 19 or 20 years old. It was 99. However old that makes me at the time, I'm not very good with
Yeah.
math. But yeah, I had my first amateur fight when I was, 99. So a lot of the amateur kids now, they get gas money and
Yeah.
get some ticket sales and everything.
Yeah.
I started with 2 tournaments. So it was multiple fights in
Yeah.
one night type thing, and I had to pay an entry fee to get in.
Yeah.
So it's changed a little bit.
Yeah. Um, how many amateur fights did you do before you end up going pro?
I did 6. I was 6-0. I was amateur for a little less than a year, and then
Yeah.
made my pro debut in Japan.
So that was one of the questions I had was, did you go anywhere outside of the country to fight?
Yeah, I fought in Japan 3 different times, and everything else was in the country.
Yeah.
Florida, Hawaii, California, and everywhere in
Yeah.
between. So, yeah.
Um, so why did you stop fighting?
Just life, just life. There was no, I guess I didn't have any long-term goals with it, so there wasn't anything that I wanted to achieve or accomplish to keep me involved with
Yeah.
as far as competing. But I got married and then
Yeah.
had some kids, so I just kind
Mhm.
of slowed things down.
Yep. And so did you beat any big named guys, like people that if you said their name people would know now?
Yeah, I guess the biggest one was Clay Guida, who's still currently
Yeah.
fighting in the UFC. Actually, just had a win last weekend.
Yeah,
in the
I saw
UFC,
that.
so, yeah, I beat him. It was early on in his career.
Yeah.
It was an event XFO, which is based out of Chicago area, and I beat him in the second round with an armbar.
That's pretty sweet. And so, have you all the big time refs like Herb Dean and all them? Have you
Yeah.
ever been ref by any of them?
Yeah, Herb Dean saved my life when I fought Gilbert Melendez. That was a little bit of a rough one. You might have seen that on YouTube
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But sometimes we're too dumb to save ourselves, so you need a referee to save you. And yeah, Herb
Yeah.
Dean was a ref for that fight. So
So, do you still train?
yes, with you a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael comes
Sometimes.
out, and
Yeah.
gets rowdy a little bit. Yeah, we have some amateur and professional fighters. Still based out of Lowell there.
Yeah.
Just still doing it just because I love it. Probably will train until I can't.
So you can't walk anymore?
Yep.
How many days a week do you train?
Right now, 3.
3 days?
Yep. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday right now.
Mm-hmm.
So on Tuesdays we do our basic jiu-jitsu and then MMA grappling. On Thursdays we do our basic kickboxing and then MMA sparring,
Mhm.
and then Saturdays we just do our open mat. As everybody
Yep.
comes in and does whatever they want, whether they want to do some some jujitsu rounds, or if they want to kickbox or do
Yeah.
all of those things, then
Mhm.
it's just open mat, free
Yep.
for all.
So, like little kids. So, like, are there different classes, like, and all that stuff?
Yeah, we do some younger kids. I try to limit that age to around 10
Yeah.
years old, just for attention span's sake.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily always have the patience I need. We
Yeah.
get younger than
Yeah.
that, and I think at that age, the kids really start to get a hold of
Mhm.
the techniques and start to really understand their bodies and the movements
Mhm.
and things like that.
Okay. So, if you could, would you come out of retirement to fight again?
My heart always says yes, but logically, it's probably not a good idea. This is a young man's sport,
Yeah.
Michael, you train a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you start getting up there in age, speed's
Mhm.
kind of that crucial tool at the lighter
Yeah.
weights for us. And that's the first thing to go at the lighter weights.
Mhm.
Power stays, but speed kind of goes, and that's an important part of that puzzle
Yeah.
in the lighter weights where I would have compete. So
Mhm. So, how do I? So, do you still like you're obviously like still staying in shape and everything. So, do you like run? Like, what do you do like on a daily basis to like keep yourself in shape and everything?
where I've been off for a couple weeks, but Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, lift weights in the mornings
Mhm.
with my son
Yeah.
and your brother
Yeah.
with Riley and Israel. I still run. I try to run at least once a week. I do 1 5-miler pushing Zeke in his wheelchair,
Yep.
and then I try to bike once a week. So
Mhm.
just maintenance. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to win any gold medals at the moment.
Yeah,
Just trying to maintain and stay
yeah.
active.
Stay healthy and everything,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I eat a lot of Oreos. Pretty sure it's good. It's good for everything.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what else? I can't really think of anything. I had all my questions. You got anything?
Sure. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you feel when you come into spar and do your grappling. Is it what you expected it would be?
Yeah, it's different. Like when like most people don't understand like what it's like. Like when you go in there, people are expecting it to be like light and like all this, but it's really like it's more like when you know the people in there and you know like what they'll do and like that they'll push you to your best but keep you safe at the same time.
Yeah, it's not a complete
It's not.
bloodbath.
Yeah. It's not like just walking in somewhere new and everybody's beating you up because you're the new guy. It's like they'll keep you safe because they
Right.
want you around.
Right, absolutely. Because if you don't keep people safe, you don't keep each other safe during this, so you're not going to have training partners.
Mhm.
It's hard to train alone for a sport like this.
Yeah, it is.
It's individual, but there's a whole team behind you every time you go in. What were your nerves like? Did you have any nerves the first time being young coming in?
No. I mean, yeah, kinda like, cause I didn't know to expect from it. Like I knew like what it was and everything, but I didn't really like fully understand like what we were gonna be doing like on a daily basis and everything. But like after a while, you kind of just get used to it, and you're going in there and knowing like what you're gonna start out with, like stretching, and then getting into the 5 rounds and all this and everything.
Do you feel like it's comparable to any other sports, or is it something special altogether?
I think it's something special altogether.
How's that?
It's so different because anything can really happen. Like one mess up or one not like covering or blocking or whatever, and it could end in a whole bad situation.
Yeah, it definitely can. It keeps you mentally and physically prepared. You know, you have to be very, very reactive and cerebral.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's like we talked about earlier, though. It's good to take care of each other because you don't want to go in every day knowing, with that anxiety
Yeah.
hanging over your head, knowing, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a beating today, or, you never know if you're going to come out healthy on the other side. You can't really train like that. When I started, it was like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of at the beginning. The sport was pretty young then. It was just starting to hit the mainstream, and that was the way we trained. We just really went after each other.
Yeah.
Every time in the gym was a real fight, but it had to go through that process, I think, to get where it is today with people training smarter and more scientifically, protecting each other, looking out for a long term, because you're getting athletes now that started in that beginning phase where it was abusive, coming up with CTE and other brain injuries.
Yeah.
And, I've got a good friend of mine that I trained with, Spencer Fisher, fought a bunch of times in UFC. He's got dementia. He's 45.
Wow.
He's like 45 years old and he has dementia. He has to have his wife write notes on little sticky notes and place them all over the place for him so he can get through the day. He gets lost every now and then coming home from his own gym.
Wow.
Like, even though that's his daily routine, he was a dog back in the day, and like he would rather die than go, than accept defeat.
Yeah.
And
he still pushes through.
Yeah, through that process though, he took a lot of unnecessary blows when he could have maybe looked out for his own well-being and maybe tap out, get out of there, whatever he needed to do. But sometimes pride gets in these guys' way.
Yeah. Their egos really stand
absolutely
out like nowadays.
And I think ego has to be a little bit of a part of it.
Yeah.
Because if you just give up every time, obviously that's going to be an abusive experience for you. You got to kind of find that middle ground to see where your skill set's at. Obviously heart and mental push is a big part. You need just a good balance of everything.
Yeah.
It's gone are the days where you could be good at wrestling or good at one thing or another.
Yeah. You kind of have to be good at all sorts of things.
You have to be good at a lot of different things. Yeah. Not just good, but really good. Look at where, the beginning days of the UFCs and guys in one boxing gloves going in there. And now look, these are born and bred athletes now. These guys, it's kind of a perfect storm. The best guys in there, it's a perfect storm. They're kids that grew up in a gym. They were born with, I don't know, some people could argue this, a certain something in their DNA. They're born for it. They discover it, what they're born to do. They figure out that they love what they're doing. Timing with mind and body, it's all got to come together all in one perfect storm, because if any of those pieces of that puzzle are out of place, it doesn't come together right. That's why the very best and the very elite level are such a rare and special few.
So who do you think is like pound for pound the best fighter in the MMA right now?
Everybody's got opinions on it, but you have to say, regardless of what you feel about him personally and of what he does personally, John Jones. His only loss is himself to a disqualification. And he just does, when he does compete, when he's not in trouble, he just does things that other people don't. He's such an intellectual fighter.
Yeah.
He's able to adapt and figure guys out on the fly, and then he does so many just special little things that other fighters don't do. But I'd say he's got to be pound for pound. I think he's going to make a run on the heavyweight division as well. Yeah,
I feel like he has a good chance of winning that.
I do too, if he can just stay out of trouble.
Okay, so in your prime, who would you like to fight?
I'd like to rematch any of my losses, whether that was Melendez or Dean Thomas. Go in, obviously hindsight's 2020, but I would like to go in with the mindset that I have now. Like you said, that perfect storm didn't hit me. The body was ready, and the mind followed a little bit too late. If I could do it again now, I'd like to rematch with Melendez or Dean Thomas. I think go in with a different mindset and just throw caution to the wind and not worry about outside influence and peer pressures and things like that. Just go in and compete and see where it happens. There's a good chance that I don't win again, but it'd be nice to prove to yourself.
Yeah, to see what you could do
Mm-hmm.
if you
Could or
were in
couldn't
the
do.
yeah, if you're in the right mindset at that
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
So, how big of a toll does MMA really take on your body?
I suppose it depends on your methods, and depends on, some guys are so good that they don't take a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jones is a good example of that. You don't see him
Yeah.
get damaged a whole lot. I'm sure he does here and there, but I think that's probably you can't put a standard on that. I think that's up to every individual.
Yeah.
But for me doing it 28 years now, I definitely have little bumps and bruises and fight through injuries here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the overall scope of things, I think it was all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Still, I don't know if you guys that are in there training
Mhm.
are making me old quicker or keeping me young. I haven't decided yet.
So who are some guys around the area that you think could really make like a name for themselves or like a stand?
You ever heard of this Cameron Rains kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, your brother. Cam just does a lot of things naturally that's hard to teach other fighters.
Mm-hmm.
His movement and his finesse in the ring and his ring IQ when he's in there.
Yeah.
He just seems to react naturally to things. He doesn't get his feathers ruffled. We're
Yeah.
2 fights in right now, and he's done some pretty experienced moves 2 fights in already. Just good strategies.
Yeah.
And he works hard.
Yeah, he
works
does.
hard, and he's got a passion for it.
Mhm.
So I think as far as young kids, Cam's probably my best prospect right now.
Yeah. He wants like when he chases something, he really goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's training every day of the week, lifting multiple times a day, getting bigger and stronger and better.
And he's got a great attitude about
Mhm.
everything. He stays humble.
Yeah.
There's going to be bumps in the road here and there, but he's preparing for all of that. I think one of the big things I like about Cameron is his dedication. He's clean. And he's living clean. He's eating healthy. He doesn't go and do young man things.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
do ornery things. Whether that involves alcoholic beverages or anything.
Yeah.
He's refraining from all that, and I love seeing that.
Yeah.
It's such a rare. I feel like it's such a rarity now for kids to refrain from extracurricular behavior like that. And when I see it, it's pretty fulfilling to
Mhm.
be a part of it.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that you train that you think could do anything with it?
Well, you guys know Jordan Hinman.
Yeah.
If he depends on what he wants to do, if he gets healthy again, he had a pretty tough loss and broke some facial bones, but
Mhm.
he's kind of a monster.
Yeah, he really
He's a bit
is.
of an animal. I think he's probably got some potential to make some big shows, depending on what he
Yeah.
wants. Where we're getting in on the twilight of it, he's getting older,
Yeah.
and maybe Brandon Ball.
Yeah.
He, one of our lighter weight
Yeah.
guys, really excelled in amateur wrestling, and
Mhm.
he's just got a really high IQ when it comes to martial arts.
Yeah, he really does. So, what are your thoughts on Conor McGregor?
He is a master marketer. Regardless of what you think about that guy,
Yeah.
he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Maybe he
Mhm.
wasn't the best or pound for pound, in that
Yeah.
argument. But what he did and what he used with his resources, and now everybody's trying to imitate what he's done. But
Yeah.
he was the original. You can't imitate the original.
Mhm.
With his MMA, he talked, but in a lot of those cases, he backed up what he said. He wasn't just talking for no reason.
No.
He would analyze his opponents, find a
Mhm.
weakness or exploit something, whether it's in their personal life or in their martial arts game, and he would bring that to light. And then with the way he talked himself into the Floyd Mayweather fight, geez,
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of dollars there. The guy's absolutely brilliant as far as marketing himself.
Yeah, he really is.
So whether you like him or hate him, you
Yeah.
can't argue the fact that he is kind of a marketing genius.
Mhm.
So
See, like I feel like most people don't like him because he thinks too full of himself,
Mhm.
and everything like that. But I
Part
mean,
of that confidence
yeah.
that got him where he was.
Mhm.
Absolutely,
is.
he is abrasive for sure. He's definitely he's not a personality for everybody,
Yeah.
especially us.
Mhm.
Small town. We're usually pretty humble in our
Yeah.
values and roots, and then we see a guy like that, it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah.
It's like only seen on TV type things, but he's a real guy for sure.
So, like when you're talking MMA, what does it require more strength or cardio?
It's a balance. It's a middle ground. You can't be all cardio and just be
Mhm.
a floppy spaghetti noodle out there because
Yeah.
you're gonna get rolled up. Strength, to execute moves and game plans. Execute the techniques you got to do, especially you get into submissions, and that's not all just technique always.
Yeah.
You have to have some grit and some squeeze
Yeah.
to finish those, and punching power and things like that.
Mhm.
It's a middle ground. It's a balancing act.
It's more of a mindset,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah,
It's
well, it's physical as well.
Yeah.
It's physical as well. I feel like there again, you get some of those guys that are just genetically strong
Mhm.
by birth. They're just strong,
Yeah.
no matter what they do. But then they have a gas tank, and
Yeah.
obviously a chin and all that thing, all that kind of thing comes into play too. Everybody's so individual. It's hard to say,
Yeah.
but I would say if you're say not blessed with all these genetic gifts, middle ground, because you don't want to be too much on one or
Yeah.
the other, and just well rounded.
Mhm. So like when you're fighting like out there, and you're on top or bottom or whatever, and you're looking to submit a dude, what's like your top favorite or like your go-to submission?
For me, I always liked top side. I like baseball or north-south chokes. I can't say base. I liked baseball bat chokes,
Yeah.
but as far as actually like percentages and finishes, arm bars and north-south chokes, which is obviously
Yeah.
chest to chest, facing the opposite
Yeah.
directions. One guy north, one guy south, and it's just it's a choke that just isolates the neck, and there's a lot of good pressure and good squeeze. A lot of times it's not how tough you are in that one,
Yeah.
because your consciousness, blood flow and oxygen to the brain doesn't care how tough you are.
Yeah.
If there's a lack
Really?
of it, you go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd say north south. Arm bars from underneath were always good for me. That's
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
got lucky and got Clay.
Mhm.
So Clay Guida, but
I'm pretty sure that fight is on YouTube.
it is on YouTube. It was a bit of a chaotic fight.
Yeah.
In a ring, kept
Yeah.
going out of the ring.
Yeah.
It was fun though. There's a couple dirty tactics in there, but as far as he's just a competitor. If you guys want to watch that, he was a bit of a wild man, and I know he flipped the camera off afterwards.
Yeah.
But he was just young. But outside of competing, Clay's he's a great person. I've been able to talk to him,
Yeah.
quite a few times, and he's very, very genuine, very down to earth. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So-
a really good guy.
Are there any like other like big name people that you train with or like you go places to see or whatever?
Not so much anymore. We used to, obviously the gym that
Yeah.
I trained at was the Militage camp, and we had, 5 world champions come out of there.
Mhm.
There might be more than that, but once in a while we go to Cedar Rapids, and we'll try, look at Eric Koch.
Yeah.
He just recently got released from the UFC, but
Yeah.
we do make a few little road trips, because I feel like with our area, we don't necessarily have the resources we need
Yeah.
to keep growth going.
Mhm.
So if we don't get out of our shell, we box ourselves in,
Mhm.
and then there's no room for improvement.
Yeah.
So I think humbling yourself and always kind of looking for outside help and new information is always a good thing. Keeping your mind flexible and
Yep.
keeping that ego kind of down and
Yeah.
checked out.
So, because I know you've said before how you used to go to Vegas
Oh yeah.
quite a bit to train down there. Do you still go down there?
I haven't for the last couple of years, but if things change, with pandemic
Yeah.
type things going around and all that, if things change and I get back out there, obviously I'm going to go do that. It seems like for me, a vacation is fine to lay on a beach or do this and that for a day or two, but then I get a little bit
Yeah.
restless and start looking for gyms to train at.
Yeah.
And then it's nice too because you get to meet a lot of new different people, a lot of interesting personalities. Everybody seems to be very open and sharing. So
Yeah.
once I go do those kind of things, you know, maybe I learn a trick that I didn't know before, and then I get to bring it back for all you young guys. And
Yeah.
that keeps us growing, keeps us kind of heading in the right direction
Yeah.
with a little momentum.
Instead of falling back down,
Yeah.
keep doing the same things you've been doing.
That was one of the problems with like traditional martial arts that I grew up in. Was everybody said, "Oh, you have to do only my style. You can't go to other." You know, there was no such thing as cross training back then. It was a lot of ego involved in the belt ranking system. You know, oh, I'm a grandmaster at this, so you can only learn from me. That's just crazy. It's too limiting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's way too limiting. So I like even you guys know we. As much as we can, we go seek out other people and other gyms. And then as far as competition sense, when it comes time to compete, you're used to seeing all these different looks and different faces.
Yeah.
It takes some of the edge off of that competition. You're used to it. It's just normal now. So it's kind of good for the athletes.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so that's all we have for today. So I don't know how to close it.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
it's nice talking with you, Michael. I
you too.
appreciate it.